this is now part 2 of Town Hall because it's too long to do in one video. So we have the culinary team with us today. They're going to spend a little time. I'm just going to start off and talk about the restructure a little bit. So in the same way that we just talked about the plant operations restructure, the culinary department is also going through a restructure. So what you're seeing here, again, this will be on the grapevine for you, is that this is Don, the culinary manager. We have recognized through your feedback that we need to expand our culinary services a little bit, and so we've been working on this for 3 or 4 months prior to COVID, and then COVID obviously put a little halt on things, but Jay was brought in, and so happy that he's joined our team as part of this restructure. So what you're looking at is we've divided the culinary department into basically 3.5 areas. So we have Jay, who's overseeing kind of our food and beverage operations. So that's the front of the house, making sure that everything is perfect. The training, we know, we've heard through a lot of you that the training, we have a lot of new first-time job people, and we love that that's an opportunity, and we want to make sure that we do what we can to serve them and train them appropriately. So Jay kind of oversees the dining room, and then I'll let Don talk about the culinary manager and who that is. And so the culinary manager is the back of the house person. So with food quality, what the food looks like, the recipes, the Crandall menus that you all love so much. And then the certified dietary manager is Marissa, and Marissa has been here for several years, and she's just taken on a new leadership role so that she oversees the food that is in the Waterford and Health Center. And the plan is within the next 6 months that the quality that is occurring in every other portion of the community also happens in the Health Center and Waterford. So we're working through that. And then Kristen is our dietitian. She supports mostly our Health Center and assisted living, but she is very instrumental in the menu planning and that. So anything you want to add to that?
Oh, that covers it, the restructure, and I'll talk a little bit about Erin in a moment.
All right, I'm going to step out so Jay can be in so we're not 6 feet.
As Rita talked a little bit about the org chart, I want to talk a little bit about, or Jay is going to talk a little bit about our new storeroom.
Hello everybody. We've recently gone through some changes. We were working out of a room up on the 4th floor that was storing a lot of our products for the COVID process, during this process. We've now moved maintenance to another location in the building, which I think Steve spoke of, and now we're looking at a new storage room. We renovated it, we put in a new floor, we put in some new racks. It's been very, very helpful in alleviating some of the times to get the products. So we've been really beneficial. We still have some issues with our refrigeration. That's something we're going to work through. Once the construction's done, we'll have a better refrigeration in our freezer and our refrigeration.
Okay. Thank you. The Crandall menus are next.
And you know, it probably was not, you know, the COVID added to it. It's been, what would you say, a bumpier start that we would have liked to go through. We've really rolled it out. It was a bit rough, and we are sorry, but we are working through those things. We are on a fast learning curve. We're learning a lot from you through the comment cards and through the, you know, just through word of mouth. We are listening. We love the emails. We're probably getting, I think, probably 6 or 7 a day that are very helpful. They allow us to sit together on a group on Tuesday and we talk about what we can do to improve it. I think this is our 3rd week into it, maybe 4th, but we've learned something each week. We've tried different things throughout the pattern to help get that. There's a lot of recipes in there. Some work, some don't. We're focused on the diets and the gluten-free. We're working on a lot of that. So we are creating a new menu cycle. The long-term goal here is that once we get back and all our dining rooms open, it will be ready to go. This is a good time to try out, test the recipes, but we've had a lot of successes and we've had a few bumps along the way. So that's something that we're going to keep working on, and we'll continue with the addition of the culinary manager, with my addition, and all the things that we're working on. We've taken this time to really help sharpen our skills. We really had a lot going on during this time. We haven't been just letting the time pass, but it's been very busy for culinary, very busy.
One of the things that I wanted to add that Jay has taken the lead on the Crandall menus, and as he said, it's been a little bit of a bumpy road, and we apologize for those things that we've done inconsistently, and some of the presentation hasn't been on target. I know it's a little tough looking at a styrofoam box and seeing white and white and white, and some of the things get shaken up. But we apologize for that, but we are really, really trying to do a better job at that. But one of the things that we went back to with the Crandall menus is, they've got 12,000 recipes, and there's 27 different recipes for meatloaf. And, we're trying to make sure that we get the right recipe. And during this time of COVID, it's given us, as Jay said, an opportunity to test some product, but it's also given us an opportunity in the back of the house to be consistent with the recipes and understanding the recipes and understanding the yields out of those recipes, as well as understanding the production sheets and making sure that we can control the amount of food that we purchase, which in the end saves us money, as well as making sure that we're not overproducing some of those items. These are some facts during COVID that I wanted to kind of go over, and it's, we are delivering about 310 to-go meals a day independently for lunch, and at dinner it's about 370 dinners that we're delivering independently for lunch. We're doing about 170 meals in the Waterford, which is the assisted living and the healthcare. That's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and those are being delivered as well. We're doing about 75 employee meals. Now those come out of the River's Edge Cafe. They also come out of the Legacy, and we've actually separated some of the employee meals coming out of the Waterford and the assisted living, as well as the health center. And we're doing about 30 meals for breakfast in the Legacy. That's the grab and go, which is the Continental, which is about 945 meals a day that we're delivering throughout the community. The other thing that we've added is DoorDash, and we've had DoorDash during COVID. And on Tuesdays, those are our busiest days. We're doing about 120 deliveries for DoorDash above and beyond the 945 meals that we deliver. And on Fridays, it's a little bit of a lower delivery. It's about 60. And one of the things that it's kind of impressive is we bought about $13,000 worth of items from Kroger. And that's, Tim going to Kroger, and Jay's going to Kroger, as well as myself. And it's been everything from apples to yellow squash. I don't think we buy anything Z, so that's why I didn't put anything there. Y was the closest one I could get to. And really the biggest seller that we have in the DoorDash are the Klondike bars. One of the things that COVID has brought to us is some product concerns. And, I think everybody has seen on TV that Tyson's, which is a slaughterhouse or a meat producing house, has been shut down because they've had an outbreak of COVID at the actual slaughterhouse. There's not a shortage of product, there's just a shortage of people able to process the product. And that includes beef, chicken, some fish, but not too much. The other shortage are the actual people that can go out into the fields and pick the apples and the strawberries and some of the produce that we have. Again, California's been hit with the COVID, so they've been shut down with some of the individuals going out there and producing some of the foods. Some of the items are on back order just because of demand, and those items are a lot of the styrofoam containers that we have, a lot of the bags that we have, and some of the actual food that we get in. Now, one of the things that we do is because of some of the storage limitations that we have, is that we have Cisco trucks coming 6 days a week. And sometimes they bring the items in that day that we're using for lunch or dinner. And we're not finding out sometimes until that product has been what we call 86 or out of stock, until that actually truck arrives, which causing us to scramble a little bit, and sometimes we don't have the product that's on the menu. But we're doing a better job at looking at other vendors that are supplying us with those products, such as Northern Hazard, right up the street is GFS. These products are concerned because it's causing the culinary department to have to substitute some items, and that's just not because we are out of it, it's just because we're not getting it from the vendor.
And one of those items that we're short right now that we've just experienced back product was the options 1, 2, 3, and 4 that we're calling the heat and serve meals. Currently, we're only able to get the option 1, which is beef and carrots. So we're going to look at other ways to try and offset that. So if you're listening at home, we do not have options 2, 3, and 4. I will let you know. We'll put it in the newsletter that what the options are as they become available. And that is directly related to what we're talking about here. So that's a prime example of what we're looking at. That's it. So with that being said, you know, we're really looking forward to getting you back in the dining room, and we want to practice it safely. We don't have a time frame, but we are working closely. We're managing it, you know, as each day we're looking at it and kind of reviewing what we can and cannot do. So we hope to open up some new things in the future. Stay tuned. We will communicate them through the newsletter. So again, I'm going to step back and please email us or send us a comment card. A note with our name on it is perfect as well. We do want to hear back. Now is more important than ever to get that feedback so we can adjust accordingly. So with that being said, I think that will drive us down, and look forward to serving you in the future.
I'm sorry, I have one more. I didn't get a chance to talk about the new Culinary Manager, and it's a gentleman coming on board with us in the end of June, beginning of July. His name is Erin Whittington, and Erin comes from us from Chase Bank up in Polaris, where he was the senior executive chef for the business dining portion. He also was the executive chef at Riverside Hospital, and he's also worked at some restaurants. He was the chef at Stony River Steakhouse, and he was also the executive chef at J. Lou's. So he comes with a lot of experience from a restaurant standpoint, as well as has given us some experience from the healthcare end of it. Thank you very much, and again, keep the emails coming, and we apologize for anything that we've missed. Thank you.
Thanks, Don. I appreciate it. So again, this would be a chance, I'm sure you would all have questions, but we're going to provide an opportunity for that at the end. Okay, let's talk to Angela, and before Angela comes up, she hasn't had an opportunity to introduce her little girls yet, so I'm sure she'll tell you all about them, and we're very happy that she's back. She came out of maternity leave a little early for us to help us with all of this COVID stuff. We're super appreciative of that. So, Angela?
Hi all, I've missed you. Even though we can't see everyone in person, we are excited to be able to do this. A lot of what I get to talk about today, we actually have touched on a little bit, but I'll still share. So, we have hired a marketing and strategic communications director. She will start at the end of June. June's a big month for everybody, if you can see. Her name is Lee Meredith. She actually has some great experience in the marketing world. During her interview, one of the things we had asked her is, what does she know about FBD? And she's like, well, I went to your website and I clicked on be one of your leads to get your newsletter, and I sewed on the newsletter. So Rita and I decided, well, that's your first task. Get us on the list for the newsletter. So she'll be here on the 29th. We've hired a sales director, which Kevin Mills, you'll get to, have you met him already? Or will meet him here in a little bit, which is great. Poor Kevin also, he had lots of hoops he had to jump through. Since I came back a little early, he had already talked to half the team. I made him talk to the other half of the team, plus myself, so we're finally happy that he's here. And I'll let him do his own introduction for you, so that's great. We have also hired an IT manager, the long-awaited IT manager. Tom Jeff Fire actually will be with us in June, so we're excited about that. He has some great experience, aligns really closely to how our community is set up, and he's actually really passionate about nonprofits. He actually volunteers at a local nonprofit organization, so places that can't necessarily afford to have their IT people on site, he lends his expertise to. So when he's here, you guys will all get to meet him too. And then last, Don just talked a little bit about this, would be our culinary manager, which is Erin Whittington. He'll be with us soon. He, like Don said, has great experience on the operations side, but I think he's going to be just what we need to put that polish on our food. So we're happy to introduce all of these people. I've been really busy since I've returned, but I'm really happy to be done with all of these big recruitments. So we're excited, we're thrilled, and they're going to be good assets to the team.
Angela, will you tell us about your girls real quick, how they're doing, all that good stuff?
So, as you know, we shared in my newsletter a couple weeks ago a picture of the girls. So, then and now, Jeannie, as her smart self, was like, well, why don't we put both? Evelyn and Sophie came 1 month early, so they were born December 29th. They weren't due until January 28th, so they surprised us. We had a little bit of a rough entry into the world. My baby A, as they so fondly described her, got stuck a little bit, but she is doing so well. So many of you reached out, sent cards, emails, you know, she was in her thoughts and prayers, and it worked. She's doing great. So we have some additional work to do on Mommy and Daddy for some extra tummy time, but she is just doing beautifully, and Sophie is keeping up with her, and they actually are starting to like each other a little bit. They push each other on the tummy time, so it's fun to watch. But I'm so grateful for all the support that all of you have shown me.
All right, so I'm gonna have Kevin come up and introduce himself a little bit. So Kevin, as we've been talking about for, I'm a hands person, I got my mask in my hand. We've been talking about, we separated the marketing and sales piece of the puzzle. So we have the marketing and strategic communication, which will be led through Lee, and she'll be responsible for the website and the lead generation and what our collateral looks like, and when we send out direct mails, what that looks like. And then Kevin here, who we're very happy to have on our team, he's responsible for all the other things. So once the phone call comes in, getting all the leads, making sure that we're touching base with them, giving very clear, accurate pictures of what it is like to live at Friendship Village of Dublin, making sure that we talk about the contract appropriately, and we're learning as we go on that. We're not learning, but we're making sure that we evolve the process a little bit, and doing all that. So Kevin's gonna give a little introduction.
Well, yeah. Well, I am just thrilled to be a part of the team and the community, and what we're able to do as far as from the sales side of things. I'm excited to see what we're going to be able to accomplish. I know that there's a lot of groundwork that's already been laid. I am thrilled to find out and learn more about the experience that you guys have, that the staff has, and really incorporating that into our sales design on how that we communicate that to new prospects. I feel like that for me, one of the things that I first fell in love with when I got here is just the vast community and the community of residents, and how the staff was providing this experience, and I really want to show that off, and really connect with new prospects and build those relationships so we can continue to keep this community growing. So far, amazing journey. I'm so excited just to keep it going, and looking forward to meeting each and every one of you guys.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks.
Super happy that Kevin's here. Kevin is down in the marketing office, as will Lee. She will be down here as well. So after, I think it's been 6 or 7 months, we are very, very happy that we have this team to lead our sales and marketing effort. So with that, I'm going to ask Seth to come up, and we have had lots and lots of feedback about your deep cleans and housekeeping pre, during, and post-COVID, so I'll let him go.
Yes, thank you, Rita. Good afternoon. Yeah, I'm going to talk about a couple of projects we've been working on. One is not yet launched, and one has just recently launched. So we're going to start with our annual deep clean. So basically, am I in the screen? I'm in the screen now. Good. I'd much rather be in front of a group of all of you than in front of this camera. But we have been, I really challenged our ESS leadership team to find a good solution for our deep cleaning schedule. Really the root of the problem is we have outgrown our old historical process of calling down the PAM, getting on the schedule. I'm a numbers guy. The math never worked in my head due to how many apartments we had and how many deep clean slots we have. So as a team, we've kind of sat down and tried to create a new plan that would be beneficial to everybody. It would move away from having the call and first come, first serve process. It would be more fair. So what we've come up with is a plan that would essentially, we would take one calendar month, preferably a 31-day month out of the year, and make that our annual deep clean month for FVD. So we would schedule it out, so every apartment in our main campus would be scheduled for a deep clean in that month. So we would not have your normal twice a month cleans that month. You would instead, you would lose one clean, but you would get one deep clean. So we feel that that's a good trade-off. If you've not had a deep clean, it's really, we would pencil in about 2 hours for each apartment. We're cleaning every aspect of the apartment. We're doing the carpets, we're doing the windows. And the way we would organize this is we would have 3 deep clean teams, so 2 housekeepers on each team and 2 house persons on each deep clean team. And we've organized it to where they would really go by sections of the building, by floor, and do about 10 to 12 deep cleans a day. So we've got about 4 slots, 3 teams. The math works out. It would be an extremely busy month for the ESS team, but we think it's a move in the right direction. So that way everybody would know that, let's say it was August, was FED's annual deep clean month, you would know your date, your time, and that wouldn't change. So we have started to get some feedback on what month that would work best for the residents, so we are certainly open to that feedback. Once we get through this pandemic and we're operating business as usual, we would really be looking for next year to schedule that month, whether that's spring cleaning, so May would be a good month, April would be a good month, or would that be later in the year, perhaps August? But we've really used that template as well to hopefully reintroduce housekeeping sooner rather than later. We know you guys are ready for that, so we're gonna have a little testing period with that schedule for the 1 month clean, hopefully soon, and we'll have news on that here in a little bit. Make sure okay, so this next project has been implemented. So this is with our security team, and I brought some props. So working with Chris Fosna, our security manager, we really wanted to leverage some technology with our security operations. So through our Works Hub system, we demoed their platform for security. We really liked what we saw, and Chris has worked very hard to set up our security Works Hub platform. And essentially all of our security officers carry these iPhone 7s. It is linked with our nurse call systems. All of our pendants go directly to their phone, but we also have the Works Hub app on these phones. And Chris and his team went through and they added, I think the numbers on here, 165 barcodes. So I know you probably can't see this, but they're traditional barcodes. They're printed out. The security team put 165 of these barcodes across our whole campus, touching every area. And then Chris went in and set up designated rounds. So each shift, each officer has rounds where they have to go, use their iPhone 7, scan the barcode, and then it all goes into the system. They're also able to do incident reporting on this system, all from their phone. So they can take pictures, document. The incident reports are a nice feature because you can continue the documentation piece. It's not a piece of paper where we're filling it out, scanning it, and it's done. It's kind of a living document that they can continue to add information as it comes available. So I put a nice slide in here. We just really got this going here in the last month, but we're able to really pull some good data from it already to kind of show how many scans are being done on a daily basis. And I believe the number he gave me, we were doing just over 900 barcode scans in a typical day since we implemented this. So Chris was very strategic in setting up the rounds to not have any patterns or anything like that, but to make sure the whole campus is being watched and assessed every day. So I think it's a good move forward for our security department. We're really able to leverage technology and have some accountability pieces put into place for the department. So we're excited about it.
So Seth, how do these work? So I see them like on the doors. Does that mean that the door gets scanned every day to make sure that it's open and closed?
Yeah, so every checkpoint throughout Chris has all the rounds built out and they're all zigzag, so again, there's no pattern, but each bar's barcode scanned every day, so, but not at the same time. So that's where the strategic piece comes into it, with Chris using his background to make sure, like I said, there's no patterns, but everything's being touched, and we're identifying issues and documenting in real time. So it's been a nice addition for our team.
Awesome, thanks, Seth,
Thank
appreciate
you.
it so
Yep.
much. All right, so now we're gonna have Jess come up and give us a health center and Waterford update. A lot of this is COVID related. We've tried very hard to not have COVID related things on our agenda, but there are some really important things that are happening in the health center right now, so.
All right, I'm Jessica Rieger, I'm the Health Services Administrator, and I'm joining you today to give a brief update on the mandated COVID testing that applies to our health center associates and all Ohio nursing home associates in the state. And so I'm also going to lend some insight on Waterford Place's newly introduced outdoor visitation policy and procedure and our new practice and how it's going over there. So first, we're going to start with the health center update. The Ohio Department of Health did mandate that there was required COVID testing throughout the state. There's about 960 licensed nursing homes in Ohio, of which will engage in the testing at some point throughout the next weeks. We know that our testing is anticipated for Friday, June 19th, and we will have the Ohio National Guard on our campus that morning to facilitate the testing for about 75 identified associates that are primarily assigned to our health center on our campus. You may be hearing about this in the public media, and we're going to keep you abreast of information as it becomes available through our community bulletins and our updates. But the required testing will occur. We expect that the results will take 3 to 5 days, business days, to yield any kind of information and insight to the community. And we've been told to expect that there is a great possibility there could be positive cases. The health center is preparing supplies. They're preparing staffing resources to shift the operation in the case that there are positive asymptomatic results that yield from our testing period. So as more information becomes available, we'll keep you abreast, and we'll be taking guidance rather from the CDC and the Ohio Department of Health and the Ohio National Guard. Switching gears, the Waterford Place, we've got some exciting and uplifting news. On June 8th, we introduced outdoor visits in a nice organized space that our grounds and our plant department helped to decorate and manicure, that was really going to allow for visitors to come back on our campus and engage in a no contact, social distance, but person-to-person visit. And it's been widely received with just great reviews. We see that our residents, families, and friends are elated to be able to be reunited. I do want to stress that it's only by schedule. It's 7 days a week, but it's a very organized process. So we're using our life enrichment scheduling of these visits, and it really only does apply right now to Waterford Place. The Ohio Department of Health has not permitted the outdoor visits to apply to the health center, but we're very hopeful that the assisted living facilities throughout the state, including our Waterford Place Assisted Living, complies with the guidance, and that it's reviewed, and hopefully it's near to come for our health center population and community. So thank you for letting me join you with that brief update.